Hi, I'm Dr. Chris, and we're back at Fort McHenry at the 100th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America in America. And we're at historic Fort McHenry, home of the Star Spangled Banner. If you don't know it, you need to know that. It's a history question, and I'm not a history professor. We're here with
Tony DiRogerio, Scoutmaster of Troop 355.
Mr. Tony. I'm going to call you Mr. Tony because you're the wily veteran.
All my boys call me Mr.
That's
Tony.
right. I'm going to give you the respect that you do, sir. Tell us, how did someone like you get involved in scouting?
I got into it as a Cub Scout.
Really?
Yeah, I never really left.
So you got a lifetime sentence?
Yeah.
Some life sentences are good sentences.
Never left.
So you've been institutionalized for how many years with the Boy Scouts?
Well, I'm 61 years old.
You don't look 61.
Yeah, 61 years old.
You're a pretty spry gentleman for that age.
Joined a Cub Scouting. Back then, you joined when you were almost in the second grade. You didn't join in the first grade. So,
right.
Yeah, made an Eagle Scout. And I'm Scoutmaster of the Scout Troop that became Eagle, Troop 355.
Really? So how many Eagles have you produced?
Last count, 28.
Wow! Did you hear that? 28 Eagle Scouts. Now, you are the man.
It's not me though. It's my committee.
Of course, it's your committee.
It's my committee, my scout.
True leadership here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Always give credit to the people behind you, below you, and beside you.
I try to be a rocking chair Scoutmaster.
Well, you stay out of the way.
I entice the people to get into the scouting program, and when they get the feel of it and they get the love of it, I sit back and I enjoy.
You see that, Eric? That's what I do with you guys. I get in the way in the beginning, and then I get out the way and let you guys discover this art for yourself. Now,
that's how
we want to know
leadership.
The importance of why we're here today.
Why we're here today?
Yeah, tell us why we're here today.
Well, the scouting came to the United States because of a good turn.
Yeah.
That one scout in London that went up to Boyce and gave him directions of where to go.
In the fog.
In the fog. And then told him about his Scoutmaster and what a good turn was, and it enticed him to find out more about scouting.
So I'm doing a good turn daily by doing this gratis, and you're doing a good turn daily by giving the interview.
I do a good turn every day, all the time. Okay? I would think that my good turns are like the stars in the sky.
And look at the stars behind us.
That's
Fort
right.
McHenry. Now, see, I like this now. I got an old school guy here now.
Yeah.
Can you tell these people who don't know about Baltimore why Fort McHenry is so important and why there's a link with scouting?
Well, we're still drinking coffee here in the States. If it wasn't for Fort McHenry, we'd be sipping on tea. People don't realize that the British went into D.C. and wiped out D.C. And then when General Ross came in, and he was mounting his defense forces down North Point. If it wasn't for those people that stopped him at North Point and this fort stopping the Navy from getting into Baltimore.
Yeah, that was their backup.
We would be under British rule probably.
And I try to tell people this all the time. I say the most important thing we have going, this place is undervalued as a national monument. We should have the Battle of Baltimore every night when it's warm so people get it. It should be a tourist attraction bigger than Disney.
Right.
People don't get it. And, that's why we're doing this thing, so you guys understand this thing.
And the British were so cocky.
Oh, they were.
That they thought that the people and defenders of Baltimore were just a pushover.
When they found
out that Baltimoreans were tough.
Just like now.
Just like now. Still tough. Just like the Baltimore Ravens.
That's right. Go Ravens. That's right. We don't care.
Just like the Baltimore Ravens.
I think it's really interesting that we would have a team called the Ravens, and they're known for defense. And Baltimore, if you read the papers at that time, they talk about Baltimore was a den of thieves and pirates. And it's really, Baltimore was one of the first truly integrated cities. I tell people this. They were as many free blacks as there were slaves in a slave state, and they helped defend this thing. Merchants sold their ships. They dug the earth mounds. They did everything. People don't know the history, but if you dig the history of Fort McHenry, it's the history of America. It really is. And now, let me tell you, we got to get this out of you. What does scouting mean to you? We've talked a lot about how you got started, but what does it mean to you?
Scouting means, what it means to me?
Yes.
Okay, well, scouting is a method to really entice a boy to become a real good man. Teaches them character, teaches them leadership, okay? And it teaches them how to be a good husband later on in life, good family man, and somebody to give back to the community. When you're a good scout, you do everything that's possible to give back to the community. You become a great citizen.
And speaking of a great citizen, we got one of your cohorts here who had an experience with a cannon. Now, what's going on with this? Where is he at?
Rich,
come on in here, Rich. Come on in here and tell us about this. What happened with this cannon?
Well, how many years ago? 7 years ago?
Well, it'll be 11 years.
11 years ago. I forget, yeah, Cub Scouts. My son was a Tiger Cub, and he was, Mr. Tony was his Cub master, and we had a picture of him standing up by the cannon. My son was that tall, and the Scout master was about this tall. So the wife gave me orders today that I had to have a picture taken with our Eagle Scout now. He's gone from Tiger to Eagle Scout.
Your son's an Eagle Scout now?
He's an Eagle Scout
Is he
now.
here?
He is. He's working. Actually, he's on staff, and he's working.
We got to get him before we leave.
They put him to work.
I want an Eagle Scout.
Yeah, and now I have a picture of the Scout Master and Eagle Scout, and that's the story behind the cannon with the two pictures. So he went from Tiger to Eagle with Mr. Tony.
Well, obviously, having an Eagle Scout in the family, what is scouting meant to you?
Oh, everything Mr. Tony said, I'd echo. It's even camping. Mr. Tony got me into scouting. I was not into scouting as a youth, but I was assistant scoutmaster with him for years, and now I'm a scoutmaster of my own.
Now, can you tell these people who are interested in, we always need more good people like you getting into scouting. And even though I started as a scout, I'm not one now, I still want to give back because you got to do a good turn, as Mr. Tony said.
That's right.
Now, the question is, how are we going to get other people to get in scouting like you and Mr. Tony? We need more people like you. What do you tell them?
It is very hard, but you'll never do anything more rewarding than helping young kids. And even girls now. I have girls that a lot of people don't know at 14, girls can join Boy Scouts.
Did you hear that, ladies? I got ladies in.
I have a lot of Girl Scouts that can't wait till they turn 14 to be a venture and join. Mr. Tony is our venture crew leader in 117. So he's
Another hat.
Mr. Tony, you do everything.
Another hat. Yes.
You're a bad man.
He does.
Another hat.
He does it.
He's
all.
a Hall of Famer, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah.
What's the best part about being a Scoutmaster? I didn't ask you guys that.
Best part?
Yeah, I'll start with you, Mr. Tony. What's the best part?
The best part is watching the boys grow.
What about
Watching
you?
them grow.
He took the thunder there. And, watching the boys, watching them learn leadership. We're supposed to be coaches, and we're supposed to coach them. Like he said, he likes to be a rocking chair scoutmaster. That's the way you should do it.
Yeah.
Coach them, but get out of the way and let them do it.
I tell my students this all the time. I say, Doc Chris, why are you like that? I said, because at the end of the day, you guys have definite ideas about what you want to do. And you've got to find this art for yourself and all this video stuff. It's about storytelling. Everybody has a story. Let them tell it, or you tell it for them and get them started. And I'm getting out the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of my colleagues are like, oh, that's just crazy.
Yeah,
but now when they see the results, these people are independent. They're doing their thing. And I'm seeing Eric here, for example, on camera. He's going to be a senior. He's going to be a great producer, director. Don't forget me when you get old, dude. I want to check.
He's your Eagle Scout.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see this kind of stuff, and I want to do something different with you and all the other interviews we had. I want you guys to tell everybody and do it in unison, on my honor. And, and do the whole
thing. Do the oath?
Yeah, do the oath.
Okay.
Do the oath.
Okay.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to guide my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Now that's a good one, and I even know the other parts of it. This is scary. How come you remember that oath after all these years? It's been 40 years since I used.
Because we teach the boy not to memorize the words, but to live it.
Aha.
You live the oath and the law.
Yeah.
That's what you do. We don't just recite the words. You live it.
And that's why it means something. Because whenever I say it, I feel something.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I feel something.
My boys are always told whenever they have to go with their conscience, remember the oath and law. It'll guide them the right way.
Well, guys, it has been a pleasure meeting you
Thanks,
guys.
Dr. Rich.
Anything else you want to say to these guys before we leave on the 100th anniversary?
Well, we're hoping to be around many, many more years, and I'm just hoping that the scouts, boys that aren't in scouting, realize that this is the way to become a man. It's the scouting way. And just like Dr. Chris, once you become a Boy Scout, you get a vision of where you want to be. Dr. Chris went into the Marines, and he served his country, and thank God you did. And I just
thank God I'm still alive.
Yeah, you made it through boot camp.
Yeah, boot camp alone will kill you.
I have one of my scouts that was commissioned is down in Florida right now, learning how to fly a flight.
Oh yeah, he's down in Pensacola.
What's the plane is learning?
It's a Top Gun.
F-18.
F-18 fighter. He's a Top Gun school.
Yeah, one of my.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah. He looks it too. He looks sharp in his uniform.
Yeah. Those are some tough guys.
Yeah.
I hung out with those guys in San Diego.
Yeah.
He told us about some of the training he goes through.
It's very intense.
It's very intense.
Very intense, especially the part where you get dunked in the water. But that's another story.
He talked about that, by the way.
Yes, I've experienced that firsthand. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think the rest of the United States needs to say, thank you, Baltimore, for Fort McHenry.
And I can't say it any better, Mr. Tony. That's what I've been wanting to hear.
Yeah.
We're going to take a time out. We got some more Scouts coming. Stay tuned. We're at the 100th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America. I got Mr. Tony here. Send us out, Mr. Tony.
Send you out? Okay. You want to do the cheer?
Yeah.
Cheer?
Chick-a-licker, chick-a-licker, chow, chow, chow. Boom-a-licker, boom-a-licker, bow, bow, bow. Chick-a-licker, two-a-licker, sis, boom, ba. David Side Corps, rah, rah, rah. Troop 355.
You just heard it. Shoot 355 is in the house. We're out, ladies and gentlemen.